Listen, I can't believe we're saying the same thing over and over. This is outrageous. You know, an MTA employee was attacked, and this is the outrage of the attack. It just can't be described. Somebody's just doing his job. Part of the job for a conductor is they got to stick their head out of the train and look for safety's sake to protect the passengers both ways. And somebody comes up and cuts him, almost takes away his life, cuts his neck. This can't happen. I talked about this a lot at the MTA board meeting yesterday. The cycle has to stop. People who come to work got to be able to come to work and serve the public. These are public servants, and know that they're going to come home to their families. This cannot go on. The police were there in 2 minutes. I'm thrilled that there has been a significant surge into the system. But I got to tell you, the statistics I talked about yesterday of employee assaults are alarming. Last year, there were 60 assaults on our workforce. There were 43 arrests made of 38 people. 43 arrests. How many indictments in those felony assaults on our workers? 11. That doesn't sound right to me. And you know what also doesn't sound right is that those 38 people who were arrested for attacking MTA workers, between them, had something like more than 600 priors. 600 prior arrests for crime. How can those people be out here? How can the public be confident when people who have committed crimes again and again and again are walking around and in many cases doing the same thing? So we're not criminal justice experts. We're just saying whoever is responsible in this criminal justice process for making sure that recidivists are not released to prey again, and making sure that when people are arrested for attacking our workers, that they are actually indicted and punished. I appeal to them. Find a way to do it. Find a way to protect the public servants. It's important. It's really important. I want to acknowledge Rich Davey is the president of New York City Transit, who's been passionate about this issue and doing a ton. We're putting cameras in every subway car. No one had ever done that before. We're putting cameras inside the whole fleet. In the last couple of years, we put up over 10,000 cameras in the subway stations, never done before. We're now putting cameras inside the conductors' cars. We're doing it right now to protect conductors. That means that these people they are always identified and they're always going to be arrested. But they have to be stopped before they attack again, and it's really important. Rich has done a tremendous amount. Demetrius Critchlow, who runs the subway system for New York City Transit, is here. He spent time with Mr. Scott, the worker who was attacked at the hospital today, and he's also been on the front lines of this issue. So I'm going to, at this point, turn it over to Rich.
Thanks, Jim. Thank you. Look, just a couple things I want to reiterate. One, well, I should say at the start, there were two unacceptable things that happened today. The first, as Jano said, is an employee, an outstanding conductor, almost 25 years in the job, was brutally and viciously attacked by, we don't know who, but we will find that person. We always do with NYPD's help. Viciously attacked, doing his job, as Jano said. Our conductors have to put their heads out the window to make sure that customers aren't caught indoors or any other issues are happening on the platform before they leave. The second unacceptable thing that occurred today is that the union leadership decided to put on some kind of work stoppage charade, which impacted a couple of 100,000 New Yorkers' commutes today on the A and the C. Now, they've assured me that that conduct will no longer occur, but that doesn't solve problems about worker safety. We have been engaging with labor in this question. We will continue to engage with labor with this question. As Jano said, we continue to look at ways to protect our workers, our conductors, our cleaners, our station agents, our bus operators for that matter. Work stoppages don't solve a damn thing. We're looking forward to continuing to see what we can do to make safety improvements for our folks, including, as Jano said today, we're launching a camera initiative within the conductor cab itself. But more work needs to be done. We're not going to stand for this kind of conduct from people who are riding our system because our employees are the most important asset we have in this place, period. The 47,000 men and women that moved this city have to be protected. With that, Dee, I'll ask you to say a few words about the conductor you spent some time with.
And so had some time, an opportunity to speak to Mr. Scott, just a fantastic employee, dedicated. The first thing he said was, "I love my job." Here's an individual who's been brutally assaulted, and the first thing he says is, "I love my job." So that tells you the level of caliber, the employees that we have at New York City Transit, and it's our goal to keep them safe. We are doing everything that we can to make sure that we keep our employees safe. I can't tell you how much we support the rest of our team out there. We will be doing what's necessary out there, communicating them, talking to them, getting their concerns. We're doing a lot of initiatives on the safety side to try to protect our people between barriers and piling it at different stations. Rich talked about the cameras. All in all, we do care about our employees and we want them to feel safe.
Jessica Formoso, Fox 5.
I just have two questions. First off, were there cameras at that station? And if there was, is there any footage?
There are cameras. We're not going to talk specifics, but there were cameras in some areas of the station.
Working cameras?
Yes.
And my second question is about congestion pricing.
We're not going to talk about that right now. That's going on later part of the day.
We'll have that later. Samantha Lee with New York 1.
So the bollards or whatever you want to call them that you're putting around the conductor cabs now that one at 20th Street. I mean, it really seems like it's just for show. It's not really doing anything. I mean, do you have another alternative?
Sam, I want to take issue with that. What the vision, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to innovate and try a lot of different things. This is an innovation MTA. The idea of that, and I don't want to speak for Rich and Demetrius who came up with this and it's a pilot, but the point is to let folks know that this is not an area to stand. If a conductor sees someone standing there, they will know that that's somebody who doesn't listen to the rules. I've seen a lot of good interactions at 125th Street take place between people who are the conductor and people who are standing behind the bollard. But it's meant to send the message, please don't stand here. And if the conductor sees someone standing there, it'll be like a signal to them, proceed with caution. They might, they might ask the person to step back. They might they might be more cautious about when they open the window and stick their head out. It's a message and it's a strategy. It's not the whole answer, it's a pilot. Rich.
Yeah, no, I completely dismiss the notion that it's for show. It's about showing our conductors that you have a customer who is already disobeying a rule as you roll into the station. So they become aware that they need to be cautious. The window can come down halfway, there can be a discussion. That said, we've already observed it. I have personally observed a customer stepping back from the bollard and having a conversation 3 feet away from that customer. So it is working, in my opinion. We're going to get feedback from the labor and the crews, obviously, but it is not for show.
All right, Lisa Rosner's over here from CBS 2.
Will you be deploying more MTA police instead of relying on NYPD?
We have every confidence in the NYPD, and they put a lot of extra cops into the system. There were cops 2 minutes away from this conductor when that attack occurred, apparently. Correct, Demetrius? To within 2 minutes. So that's offensive. At Rockaway Avenue in the middle of the night at 4 o'clock in the morning, the NYPD was there. So we have every confidence in the NYPD.
All right, Ben Brockville right here from AM New York.
So I wanted to ask about the stoppage. So you described it as a stoppage and unacceptable.
Yeah.
But the union this morning, or I guess it was this afternoon, they were saying they wouldn't really describe it as a stoppage, and they were.
I'd encourage them to talk to a couple 100,000 New Yorkers who didn't have trains running on the A and C. I mean, look, we have evidence that, by the way, our employees wanted to move the trains. We have evidence that union officials were standing in the doors, preventing the trains from moving. So, ask them that question. But look, as I said, I have personal assurances that no longer is going to happen. That doesn't solve problems if they want to, and I believe that they want to work with us and solve the problem of employee assaults. But again, impacting a couple 100,000 New Yorkers doesn't do that.
So you're saying that union, because the union was basically, they didn't say it in so many words, but they basically were saying that it was the conductors on the A and C train who kind of decided it on their own, and
I understand that's what they said, but the reality is trains didn't move, and after conversations were had with union leadership, trains moved.
Are they going to be, is there going to be any discipline?
Again, as I understand it, the crews were attempting to move trains, so this does not sit with our employees at all. There are 47,000 people who show up every day to move this city, and they do a damn good job. In this instance, we'll have a conversation with the leadership, as we have had, but our expectation is this does not happen again. Let's focus our attention on improving worker safety, not this work stop nonsense.
All right, Evan from the Daily News.
Yeah. So I'm not an attorney in this particular place. Our attorneys are looking at the conduct that occurred. All I can tell you is a couple 100,000 New Yorkers had their commute severely impacted today, and that's totally unacceptable, period. Yeah. It is. So we've had, candidly, we've had discussions with the union over the last few months to make this happen. Those negotiations and conversations have been unsuccessful. So today I ordered the cameras to be installed.
All right, thanks everybody. Thanks very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.